They weren't just tall, they were violent, twisted creation, and devoured the earth. These were the Nephilim, and their rise led to the flood. The word Nephilim comes from a root that means to fall, or fallen ones. Genesis 6 verse 4 says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them." But ancient texts expand it. The Book of Enoch describes them as titans of corruption. They weren't simply tall. They devoured not only livestock, not only crops, but even mankind itself. The Dead Sea Scrolls echo this, calling them men of violence, creatures whose hunger had no end. To early believers, these weren't myths. They were warnings. Genesis tells us plainly, the earth was filled with violence. This was more than murder. It was bloodshed at a scale that left the earth broken. The very ground cried out from corruption. And so, judgment came. The flood was not arbitrary wrath. It was rescue. If the Nephilim had continued, humanity itself would have been consumed. The ark wasn't only salvation, it was survival of the human line. Enoch was given a vision of this crisis. He was taken up, not just to the skies, but through the heavens themselves. He saw fiery rivers flowing before the throne. He saw crystal palaces where angels stood in terror before the Holy One. And he saw prisons, chains of darkness prepared for the watchers who had left their first estate. And judgment thrones empty, but waiting for the kings and the mighty ones of the earth. The message was clear. Their rule would not last forever. But the damage had already been done. Azazel, a leader of the Watchers, is said to have taught men the craft of weapons, swords, shields, and knives. Semyaza revealed enchantments, incantations that blurred the line between man and spirit. Others taught the movement of the stars, the cutting of roots, the painting of faces. Things that seemed harmless became gateways. Weapons turned to blood. Cosmetics turned to seduction. Charms turned to bondage. Knowledge was never neutral. It bent the heart. And this is why judgment came. Early believers read Enoch. Tertullian defended it. The Epistle of Jude quotes it, but slowly concern grew. Some feared that pagans were twisting its imagery. Others feared that sorcery traced back to its forbidden arts. And so the church leaned toward what was safe, what was foundational. Later in this series, we'll even show you how to get the full Book of Enoch for yourself. The Book of Enoch never disappeared, but it drifted. Copied in Ethiopia, it's forgotten in Rome, always on the edge of canon, never inside. The flood wasn't simply rain, it was a line in history. It drowned the giants, it chained the angels. It cut off a world spiraling into ruin. But it also silenced a question we still feel. What happens when knowledge once heavenly is handed to the unprepared? In the next episode, the blood of the giants cries out from the earth. The visions of heaven and hell shake the early church, and the angels who fell are still chained, awaiting the day of judgment.